Alright guys, we're just going to do a little side-by-side comparison between the two cars, since I do have them both right now. So, first things first, the yellow one is my car, 2006 C6 Z06. White car is Gears, it's a 2015 C7 Z06, sorry. My car is a 2LZ, Gears car is a 3LZ with a Z07 package. And I'll get into a couple more features that it has. So I guess first thing we'll do is just looks. This is just going to be a personal preference, and I will say that the camera does not do either of these cars justice. They look so much better in person. Definitely, obviously you can tell both are Corvettes, but definitely big differences between them. C7 does look a lot bigger on camera for some reason, but it's really not. It's a little wider, but I don't know why it is. On camera it looks, to me anyways, it looks a lot bigger. Could just be because Gears car has not been lowered any, so it's still pretty tall. But yeah, obviously C7 does not have any fog lights. Both cars have projectors. Obviously the C7 has got a lot more modern running lights, turn signals and everything. It also has a couple extra vents compared to the C6 generation, along with all these splitters and winglets and spoilers, whereas my car doesn't really have any of those. It's got a small front lip, but that's it. Your rears, some people say that Corvettes are all supposed to have round taillights, but don't know why anyone would think the C7s just wouldn't work with a round taillights. So these definitely work good. Super mean looking. So yeah, as far as the way they look, it's all personal preference. Both of them look amazing to me. It's really hard to say. I've always loved the C6 generation. Of course, it's my car, so I guess it'd just be a little biased, but just has the lines in the right places. But I also love the C7s. They're very aggressive and everything. So, looks-wise, I'd say they both are outstanding. The C6, this is a 2006 car, so not many cars age as well as these cars in the looks department. They still look every bit as good as brand new cars out there on the road, and it's a 2006. So, but like I said, that's personal preference. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive on in the inside. I'm going to try to make this a short video, under 20 minutes, but we'll see. So, alright, so this is a 2006. A lot of people knock on the C6 generation interiors, but they're really pretty nice. Got the keyless entry, of course, and I'll show you the, let's see here, get the two keys out. Two keys are a big difference. Oops, I dropped them both. We'll look at them in the grass. C7 obviously, C6. So, remote entry, keyless entry, whatever you want to call it. They do have the no door handles, just have the push button. Memory seats, like I said, this is a 2LZ, so it remembers your seats. It'll back up for you when you get out. Steering wheel as well. This has the navigation. Alright, so let's get in. This car does have projectors with fog lights, and it's got the upgraded lights on it. Alright, so let's shut the door, put it in accessory mode. It's got the Corvette, got the cool, and you see, hey. So yeah, gauges are cool. This is really not bad. I would say, you know, people, okay, the navigation looks terrible. It does look super like Windows XP. It's pretty bad, but it does work. Works very well, so can't knock it for that. And we got that. play your DVDs, put your CDs in there. So that's pretty cool. See here. Stereo's pretty good. Doesn't have a lot of bass, but other than that, it's pretty good. Got a low rear tire. See here, you can toggle through all of your, you know, there's a ton of stuff you can toggle through. So, a lot of cool features, and then there's all your things for your heads-up display. You go through there. So yeah, seats are super comfortable. They're not the best about holding you in. This car is amazing around turns and handles like a dream, so it'll try to throw you out of the seats. You gotta brace yourself, honestly. But the seats are super comfortable. Cup holders coming out of my Mustang, where it had them right here behind the shifter. That is amazing. Center console, it holds a couple CDs. It's not deep at all. Shifter kind of sucks, honestly. These are bad about having a bunch of slop in it that's in first gear. So there's a lot of them like that, and it's a real, I don't know, this is almost like holding a baseball. It's weird. I'm gonna get a short throw with aftermarket ball on it for sure. I really didn't know how good the MT82 in my Mustang was until I got in this. So really good. Really have not got used to the clutch yet in this car. I mean, it's alright. It's not real stiff, but it has weird grab point. So yeah. Great visibility out of this car. You can see absolutely everywhere. Really not any blind spots. But yeah, a lot of people knock on this, but I'll show you all on the C7. I would honestly say it's almost as good touch-wise as the C7. I'll show you all it in a minute. Alright, I'm going to get out and get in the C7. Obviously, keyless entry as well. Like I said, this is the 3LZ, so it's got it all. Competition seats as well. Carbon fiber dash, whatever. Alright, let's get in here. Alright, so you sit in here, and it even feels more like a cockpit than the C6. Seats are a lot stiffer than the C6 seats, so they're not near as comfortable, but boy do they hold you in. They definitely have a lot better side bolstering and keep you in. The leg bolstering is really not that big, but seats are definitely good. Let's move me up. Let's go ahead and there we go. Got that. So everything, there's a whole lot more that is digital in here, obviously. Then these gauges are obviously not, but there is a bunch of those. Alright, shifter. Oh my gosh, I talked about how bad the one in the C6 is. This one's good. Real short. Only thing I don't like is reverse. It's way over here, way over there, which I guess is a top safety feature. Cup holders, good. Hate this. I don't know why. I just do not trust the computer pulling however they do it. I would just much rather have the grab handle to engage the parking brake, but whatever. Got all your modes for different sport, track, whatnot. Heads-up display and all that good stuff. Now look at here. All right. Let's see. Let's go home. This thing, a lot of times, well, it's gonna work good here. A good bit of the time, you have to like tap things multiple times in order to get them to work. It's working pretty good here. It's not near as good as like Rodney's Hellcat or Dad's Hellcat. Rodney's is even better. But anyways, I don't know. Certain things don't seem to tap very good. Now there's your navigation. Obviously, worlds better than the C6. Like that. It took a pretty good while for that to load up. Stereo in here is good. Steering wheel, super good steering wheel, flat bottom. It's small. I would love this steering wheel in my car. Only thing I wish is you can get the Alcantara package, and it has the steering wheel, the boot, and everything. That's the best package for these cars. But his doesn't have it. Rodney's old Z did, and it was super awesome. Glove compartment thing, also pretty terrible. He has a lot more USB card reader and everything. Visibility, pretty good. It's not as good as the C6. You got the quarter windows there instead of the full glass going around. This car does have cool features, like when you put it in reverse, the mirrors will angle down so you can see. It has a backup camera. It does have the video camera in the front where you can video stuff, which is really cool. Clutch and everything, similar feeling to the C6. It's a little bit lighter. It's still kind of weird feeling. I don't know, I'm a Mustang guy and still not got used to the LS clutch life. I guess that's it for the interior. It kind of goes without saying that the C6 is not as good as the C7 on the interior. It's a lot nicer in here, obviously. They did a lot of improvements on the C7 generation. A lot nicer materials and stuff. But yeah, C6 is still a good interior. It's every bit as good as my 2014 Mustang was, if not better. It's got more features for sure. So I'm perfectly happy in it. This does have a removable top, which, as you can see, carbon fiber. This car actually does make more cracks and rattles than the C6 car, surprisingly. The roof on these, I guess just the flex, it twisting, it does make some pretty good noises whenever you're like going down a gravel driveway or something like this, which I don't think gear really cares about, so it's not a big deal. But if you're like a super OCD person, it would bother you. Oh yeah, as you see, all the controls on the steering wheel on here, you can basically control everything from there, whereas if we go on here, my steering wheel does not have any. Most of them just come on the left side, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm OCD enough that would really bother me, so I'm glad I don't even have those buttons. Alright, let's get the engines popped, hoods popped, and let's check that out. Alright, got the hoods popped. Let's start with the C6. It came with a naturally aspirated LS7 7-liter, 505 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque, I believe. Might be wrong on the torque. But yeah, anyways, this one obviously not stock. So I got a cam with some other stuff. So they make similar power. Yeah, the C7 comes with a LT4, supercharged, 650 horsepower, 650 torque. Gears is stock, aside from a Corsa double X pipe, a helix pipe, something like that, I don't remember. But we installed that. It was pretty easy, gave it a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, but definitely gave it a little more sound, a little different tone. So yeah, this one is supercharged, obviously, where the last generation came naturally aspirated. 7-liter motor is really good for a naturally aspirated build. Do heads cam, full exhaust. Basically, you can do a max effort build, which is full bolt-ons with cam and everything, and it's over 600 wheel horsepower. If you know, like I said, a max effort. This one's not, so it's not over 600 wheel or anything like that. But you can make some really good power naturally aspirated out of these cars. However, these cars are not really good for boost. Some people run boost on them, but most people don't. They just do NA builds. So yeah, really good naturally aspirated motor. These did come with a head problem. The exhaust valves are bad about coming out of spec and then breaking off and nuking your motor. So that's kind of a big deal. LS7s are not cheap engines. This one has got the heads fixed, so hopefully I never run into that, but you really just don't know. I've thought, you know, obviously it's something you don't want to really think about, but I have put some thought into it, and if something happens to this motor, I'll probably just sit on the car for a while and do a LS3 built motor with a some kind of Pro Charger or something like that on it. And because I mean, like I said, max effort build on this, you can make 600 something wheeled. LS3 with a Pro Charger, you're looking at like 800 wheel. So you got options. LS3 definitely cheaper motor to build and purchase. So you know, there's options, and people be like blasphemy putting an LS3 in a Z06 car, but I ain't worried about it. I don't care. Power's power. So yeah. Anyways, this car, first Z06 to ever come with a supercharger on it, and yeah, 650 horse, 650 torque, really strong car. No, we have not raced them. My tires are not good enough. This car will not hook in first or second gear whatsoever. This car will. I'll get into tires in a minute. This C7 Z06, this engine did come with a slight overheating problem. It gets heat soaked and loses a pretty significant bit of power on track or if hot lapped during racing. But for, you know, what we do with our cars, you know, we just enjoy them, drive them. You know, we might run them some, but nothing crazy. So gear will probably never have any issues out of that. But that was a factory problem and still is. Obviously there's not huge airflow coming in, so that's probably one of the reasons. Whereas down here it's even less, but yeah. So both of these cars make really good power. Different delivery styles, obviously. Supercharged and NA build. Both of them are fast. This C7Z, I wouldn't touch it if it was mine, as far as like tuning it or anything like that. Nothing to void the warranty. You got 650 horsepower with a warranty, just like the Hellcats. Just enjoy the car, beat on it, and if something tears up, you got a warranty. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, so I guess that'll do it for the engines. I don't believe there's anything else to talk about as far as that goes. So let me pop the trunks and we'll see about the trunks. Alrighty, as you can see, the C6, the entire trunk opens up. Hopefully the wind is not blowing where y'all can't hear me. I hope not. Anyways, the entire trunk on the C6 opens up versus on the C7 it goes around the quarter windows. So it's just, you don't have quite as much side opening. A lot of room, whole lot of room. I think the C6 probably has more storage space, just from the design. It's a little skinnier up here, but yeah, it still got a ton of space back here in the C7, and he's got all these things. My car doesn't have any of them at the moment. So yeah, a lot of storage space in here. This wicker build does get in your way, the rear view, but it looks nasty. So yeah, storage space is both good. Really cool hatchback design or whatever it's called. So you can fit a lot of stuff in the back. As you can see, two different designs right there. But both of them have really good room in there. Alright, let's talk about brakes. This thing has monstrous carbon ceramics, and holy crap do they stop. You have to SpongeBob big toe this car to the max or you will get thrown through the steering wheel. It is pretty ridiculous how touchy the brakes are, which is kind of a bad thing to me, just because they are so touchy. You got to really be careful with them. Then here's the old brakes on the C6Z, which are really good. Don't know what size piston brakes they are or anything like that. They do have drilled rotors. I honestly don't even know if that's stock or not. But yeah, these brakes are really good on this car as well. You do have to apply more force on these, which I think is a good thing, because you don't have to, you know, on this one, literally as soon as you touch the brake pedal, you're slamming the brakes. So it's super touchy, which kind of sucks. But I don't know. That's just, I guess that's just a carbon ceramic thing. They're wild. Which long-term gear is probably going to hate these, because carbon ceramics, like the full brake kit on this, if you wanted to buy it, is like $12,000 to $15,000. I think that's what he looked up. So And he does drive this car good, but he got it with 1,000 miles. He's got 4,400 miles on it now, something like that. So eventually he's gonna have to do some work on the brakes, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when he gets there. I mentioned earlier about tires and not hooking, so my car has got 345, 35, 19 Nitto Invos on the back, and they've seen their better days, so it needs some tires. I'm undecided if I want to go with these again or if I want to get the NT05 radials and try them. I don't want to hurt the turning aspect of the car, but I do want it to be able to hook. Obviously, my best friend's got a C7Z. My dad and his friend both have Hellcats with radials on them. So I would like to be able to play around with them and not just spin everywhere. But we'll see. This has the Michelin Super Sports, I believe that's what they're called, 335/25/20. Really small sidewall. These are not the Cup 2s, so they're not the like almost full-blown race tire, but they do hook very well. When they're warm, this car can go from first gear. So really good tires. As far as handling, these tires on mine have done really well as much as I pushed them. I haven't pushed them very hard or very much, but I've been impressed with how good this car turns. But that's probably just because I came out of a 2014 Mustang, and they're obviously not designed for turning, and where this car is, so that's probably why I'm so impressed with it. One more thing, the sound that these cars produce. Definitely different. You know, most people will say LS cars sound extremely good, especially one like this. It's got a big cam in it. Sounds pretty wicked, especially just sitting there idling, but it also sounds extremely good when driving around and full throttle and whatnot. So this car does have full exhaust, so it sounds pretty wild. I'll put a couple clips in. I still have not got any exterior drive-by clips or anything like that, but I do have some interior pulls and idle and whatnot, so I'll throw that in there. And then we got the exhaust on this, which, if I mentioned earlier, he does have the double X pipe, which eliminates the rear two cats on this car. Doesn't void your warranty, doesn't mess with your tuning or anything like that, so it just purely is for sound. It claims it adds 5 horsepower, but in a 650 horsepower car, you're not going to feel 5 horsepower ever. So even if that's true, it doesn't really matter. But the LT4s, they do have a unique sound. They sound kind of weird, honestly. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the motor design. Some of them sound really good cammed, but they sound a little weird. They don't sound like anything like a normal LS car, for sure. To me, anyways. Y'all let me know what you think about the LT4s. I guess the LT1s as well. They do sound good, don't get me wrong, but they're different. And if you can see the baffles on here, you can turn this car into silent mode, so it can go from pretty loud to really quiet. You can barely hear the supercharger on this car, which kind of sucks. Like the Hellcat, it has the screaming loud supercharger, and that is just, it's awesome. It gives you a whole nother like aspect of involvement and enjoyment. So it would be really cool if this supercharger was louder. I'm sure there's a cold air intake or something that affects the sound volume, but I don't know. Stock, it would have been cool if they made it louder. It's almost like they wanted you to think it wasn't supercharged, but I don't know. Obviously my car's lowered. It's pretty low. It's not got a lot of wheel gap, but it's still off the ground and decent enough to get around, which I really like. Gears is still pretty high, so he's going to eventually lower it. His C5 that he had, we slammed it. We cut the bolts and everything, so it was slammed. I know he wants to lower this, but here's your problem. That carbon fiber lip down there is not cheap to replace, nor are the side pillars or splitters, whatever. So you have to be really careful with this car because it's got some expensive parts. Whereas mine down here is just a little piece of plastic. If that gets damaged or anything, I can just replace it for not much money. But as you can see, we're scraping the grass down here. She's pretty low. Even as much wheel gap as he's got, it's pretty low as well. If we eliminated a lot of this wheel gap, his car would look super slammed with all these splitters and stuff on here. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh yeah, about driving. Both cars drive differently. This one being a big Camden stuff, it does drive. It's not as smooth and everything as that car. His, you know, you can put it in 7th gear at 1,000 RPM and just cruise around in it, and it acts perfectly fine. Whereas this one does not like the low RPMs like that, which is to be expected with a cammed car. So, or at least this car, big motor cam. I don't know. Some people say that theirs are extremely smooth, but I've not gotten any experience with that. So both of them have long gears, which I like. Coming out of my Mustang, they have 373s. You had to shift at like 10 miles an hour. It's really good. I really like the longer gears. C7's got, I believe, longer gears than the C6, and it's got 7 gears instead of 6. It might just be due to the tires. This car comes with a 1920, whereas this comes with a 1819. But yeah, they're both pretty wild. This C6, man, when you got it in the 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs and you just dive off in it, you got to hold on, because it's a ride, son. It straight turns into an animal. Not saying that this one doesn't. This one pulls like a freight train. It just seems, it's smooth. It's real smooth. But it does, I mean, it will haul and it will pin you back to the seat. So I'm not saying either one is slow. They just kind of deliver power differently. But both of them real fast, very fun. Both get terrible gas mileage. Mid-teens if you're lucky. Yellow one, it gets real bad gas mileage. I'm here to tell you. I'm glad I don't drive it a whole lot, because it is a gas guzzler. But even Gears C7, it drinks the gas as well. So does Dad's Hellcat. None of these cars are getting good gas mileage, nor are they getting as good as people claim, like what Chevrolet claims. But they do get pretty good gas mileage on the interstate. I don't think I've even taken mine on the interstate but once or twice, and it wasn't for an extended period of time, so I really don't know. And this car does come with the eco mode, which does the cylinder deactivation, which is a total joke. It might, like if you're going downhill, it'll stay in eco mode, but the second it needs any throttle, I'm talking about just the tiniest bit just to keep it moving, it automatically kicks out of the deactivation mode. So that's a complete joke. I guess they just did that purely for legal reasons of maybe saving the gas guzzling tax. I don't know. But yeah, both cars, freaking love them. Me and Gear are blessed to have these cars. Super awesome Corvettes. Just they're awesome. And I'm so glad that I'm able to sit here and make y'all this video about these cars. I just love it. So super awesome. What else? Oh, prices. Let's see prices. You can get the Z06. You can get a nice one for 30. I would say between 30. Well, it's between 30 and $45,000. Depends on the mileage and if they've had the heads fixed and whatnot. A lot of people don't want to buy these cars if they got stock heads, or they don't want to pay much for them because they do have that issue. So you can get a good modded one that's lower miles, clean car, mid 30s, upper 30s, low 40s for low mileage ones. I'm talking like 1,000 some, you know, 5,000-6,000 miles I've seen go for around that price range, which is kind of scary. I even saw one they had on the forums. It was 429 miles on it, which is, the guy should be shot for having a 429. Why would you? He's 2 miles overdue. If it was 427 miles on a 427 LS car, that would be sick. But he went 429 miles. So to me, it's just dumb. It's been sitting for the last 10 years. It probably is gummed up and ready to just dry rot and fall apart. But anyways, between 30 and 40 something thousand dollars, you can get a nice Z06, which is an extremely good platform. I plan to keep this car and build it for a long time. I know I said that with a Mustang, but I truly mean it on this car. Having just got married, this car is paid off, title in my hand. It's not going to go anywhere. If I have any issues with it, it can sit in the basement and not cost me a dime. So I got big plans for it. Alright, let's see. C7Z. This car in gear spec right here is a $112,000 car, I believe, MSRP. I think that's what the guy, he's the second owner of it. The original guy, I think, paid $112,000 for the car. Obviously, if you're filthy rich, it doesn't matter what they cost, and you don't care about the depreciation. You just want the car when it comes out. You want the newest model right then, doesn't matter what it costs. So I guess that's what this guy, he ended up trading the car in on a Porsche, and Gear got it from the Porsche dealer, and they all, when he went up there to look at it, they were all cracking jokes and stuff, telling him, oh, you're the guy coming here to look at the plastic car. And like, the Porsche guys legit do not like Corvettes, I guess because they're an extreme rivalry, and the old Corvette racing team usually puts a whooping on everybody, so that's probably why. But yeah, you can get these cars used for $20,000 to $30,000 off of original price. I'm not going to say exactly what he paid for this car because I don't know if he wants me to tell everybody that, so I won't. But I will say you can save $20,000 to $30,000 by buying this used. He got it with 1,000 miles on it, and like I said, you can save $20,000 to $30,000 by buying them used with 1,000 miles on them. Full warranty, everything. So extremely good buy if you've got that kind of money. If you don't quite have that kind of baller money, C606 or Grand Sport, definitely a good buy. You can build them. Extremely fun cars. Really good base platform. If you really want to ball out, you can get a C6 ZR1. They are still truly the ultimate Corvette in my eyes. But yeah, I mean, they're just wicked. But you got a lot of good choices if you have different budgets. I've rambled on enough, I guess, so these are the two cars. Freaking love mine. Pumped about it. As you can see, I got the side markers blacked out if you saw my last video. And let's just say the old booty's gonna be getting a little treatment here this week sometime, so y'all be waiting for that video. Let's just say the old red on the booty's gonna be slightly darker shade and a little bit different look, so super pumped about that. Anyways, so y'all let me know, what's y'all's favorite Corvette? C606, C706, and why? Why do you like one better than the other? What would you pay for one? What's your preference? Do you like naturally aspirated? Do you like supercharged? Obviously, if money is not an option, the C7 is the better car in just about all ways, because it is the next generation. That's what they do. They improve everything. Basically, everything that they can improve, they improve it. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. like the video, and yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Take care.